Hello everybody, it's Gordon Henderson here, and I've got one of these Kerberos 2080 boards in front of me, and I've been doing some tinkering with it. So let's see, it's 3 processors, hence the name I presume. So there's a Z80, which I'm really not interested in, a 6502 and an 80 mega. So I've been playing with the 6502 and the 80 mega side. I'll just reset it, same as turning it off and on again, and then you can... There you go. So that's the sort of default thing that comes up when you switch it on. There's a couple of little additions on the home screen there, but that's essentially it. What I've done is I've been looking at the 6502 side. I've ported my Ruby operating system over to it, or at least a tiny fraction of it. I've added all the video stuff into it, so that because RubyOS doesn't normally do video, it leaves that to an external video processor. So let's just go through the motions and see what we've got to do to boot RubyOS onto it. There's a few commands here. They're all documented in the manual. It's all the same as it used to be. So file directory. So there's a little SD card, and there's you can put files onto it. So there's 2 files that we're interested in, which is this one here, rubyos.bin and basic4.bin at the moment. So if I were to go... specify the load address, because the default load address is at 0202, which is not suitable for RubyOS nor BBC Basic, which uses memory from 0 right up through to E00. So if you load something in there, it's just going to get splatted with something else. So that's RubyOS run now. Because the Kerberos board wants to start at 0202, I'm going to have to put some code into there. 4C is a 6502 jump instruction, and we're going up to there. So that's what I have done. If I now ask it to run, then great. That's what we've done. And we're now talking to RubyOS, which has been modified for the Kerberos board. The RubyOS itself is a little bit like Acorn MOS, and it's deliberately that way so I can run BBC Basic. So there's a few other things. Well, something else is it flips the case. So if you want lowercase, you have to press a shift key, and that's because the keyboard driver, the standard Arduino PS2 keyboard driver, doesn't handle caps lock. But when you're in Basic, you need caps. RubyOS doesn't care, but Basic does. So there's a few things there. So it's no application loaded. I can actually use and it'll load it at the right address. So there's a wee quirk in the system, and that the way that the cat, the 80 mega side of things, traps commands is it does it through keyboard entry at the moment. Maybe one day I will do something a bit better. Anyway, so if you hit the help command, it tells you that Basic 4 is loaded, and I can go Basic 4. So now we're in BBC Basic. No, there's a thing that annoys me is oh, I've done it again. This default PS2 keyboard is American, and there you go. So I'll fix that. Well, I'll show you how I fixed it. What I did was I tweaked the cat code. That's the code that runs on the 80 mega. Quite extensively actually. So if we get out of that, at the moment I'm just pushing the scroll lock button on the keyboard. That gets us back into the BIOS, the cat thing there. I did a new command, pod, which is power on defaults. So this is a power on defaults. These are stored in the non-volatile RAM inside the 80 mega. So I'm just going to change the keyboard to UK. I'm going to switch off key click. I'm going to make it come up and fast. Now there's something else I've actually done here, which is the start address. I've already got that in at C000 because that's convenient. And if I save that, that'll be saved to the non-volatile RAM, and it'll stay there every time you switch it on. These addresses here, the mailbox, these are not that suitable locations for the 6502. They might be okay for the Z80, I have no idea. But you've got the option here to change them to a different address, and I might do it at some point because it will slightly better suit the code that's on there. Anyway, so that's the thing. They will only take effect when I hit reset, and it's silent. No beeps, which personally I quite like. In fact, I can just load it without giving it an address because it will load it in at C000, and I can go run. Oops, you still do get some beeps, but I can go run. And there we go. And basic's still in memory. I can go. I can probably go old. Oh no, I can't. It's a little bit of memory corruption there, but that's okay. And there we go. That's the essence of it. I mean, I've started to implement most of the Acorn VDU commands, so they might work. With a bit of luck, I should be able to do something like that might put it somewhere. Yeah, there we go. So it's moved the cursor up. Clear screen. You can do mode, but all the modes are the same. So it really doesn't matter what mode number you pick. However, the mode will reset the font definition. If you remember, if you're a BBC Micro, you can redefine characters. So I've just redefined character 65, which happens to be A, capital A. So it's still A, but I've redefined it. And there's our capital A's back again, so the mode just resets the font. The font itself is the standard Acorn font, 64. The top half is the inverse, which is what's giving me the inverse characters there when I'm going along to do the command line editing there. But other than that, it's a standard Acorn font. It is the Acorn font, as was on the BBC Micro. Characters, 128 for 32 characters are sort of free. You can use those as you want. I think there's just, yeah, they're just blobs at the moment. So 23, 1 to 8. Let's see what we could do. I've just changed that one. So VD 128 gives us a little character that we've just changed ourselves to. So it's all fairly straightforward. Characters 0 through 31. I'm going to create a little graphical mode because of the limitations of the display. It really is a text-based display. And it's 40 by 30 characters. We can double that to get 80 by 60 blobs, which is better than nothing. And then some of the graphics commands like line and move and so on will then work. At the moment they're just basically ignored. There is some filing system in it. There's a little sign program, and again just list the program. I can modify, say I wanted to modify that. T equals 0 to 5. That's slightly better, and run. Yeah, there we go. A little sine wave that's going to wind its way up the screen for 5 times. The filing system interface is not very brilliant. If I tried to save that back now, nothing would happen because the standard SD card library won't overwrite a file that exists, and so I need to put checking in, which I haven't done at the moment. But I can save it as S2, for example, and then it does it. If we go back to the BIOS thing, go there. There's the S2 program, 120 bytes long. Anyway, there you go. That's the result of my tinkering so far with the Kerberos board. I shall put some of these files up, and I'll put links to them in whatever description wherever I post this video. So have a look, you'll download them. If you want to use this BBC Basic and RubyOS, you will need to reflash the 80 mega. Simply, it relies on various features which I've written into the 80 mega that just won't make it work otherwise. Anyway, there you go. Speak to you soon. Bye.